Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about the 3 fastest paths into software engineering. I'm a software team leader and I regularly recruit software engineers. So firstly, I will share with you what are the characteristics that I'm looking for in a software engineer. This will help you decide on which path is the best one for you. Then we'll look at the 3 paths I think are the fastest into software engineering. And finally, at the end of this video, I will share with you my recommendation as to which path I think is best. So stick around to the end of this video. So what do I look for in a junior software developer? Firstly, I would be looking for specific technical skills. Knowledge of a stack, basically a set of technologies probably used by the company I'm recruiting for. There would be a core language like C#, Java or Python, plus other technologies, for example React or SQL. Although with a junior developer there would be flexibility on knowledge of these. The evidence I would be looking for would be a qualification, experience, or even attendance at a bootcamp. The next thing I would look for is for some basic computer science knowledge, definitely algorithms, data structures, but also maybe a basic understanding of the web, HTTP, networking, security, and so on. Other things I would look for are some practical experience. This could be voluntary work, a portfolio, contribution to open source projects, or related work experience. Basically have something, as it's unlikely that I would recruit purely on academic performance alone. Finally, soft skills. I will go into them in more detail in a later video, so please subscribe. However, I am looking for someone who would be a good team player, be enthusiastic and proactive as a minimum. So keep all of this in mind when choosing your fastest path into software engineering. Ask yourself, does the path give you core skills, basic computer science knowledge, and some practical experience to talk about? Let's now talk about the fastest paths as I see them, and at the end I will give you my recommendation as to the fastest path into software engineering. So please keep watching. The first path is university. Although you may not consider this a fast approach, you must remember that your career will last 30 to 40 years, so in that context doing a 3 or 4 year course is a small percentage of that overall time. If you have a degree already, at some institutions you can do a postgraduate qualification which will give you a good grounding in computing and only probably last a year. The advantages of going to university are proven. Generally, people with degrees are better off economically through their lives. From a software engineering standpoint, many software engineers have degrees, and so if they're recruiting, there may be a conscious or unconscious bias to recruiting other people with degrees. Less so nowadays, but many larger companies also require people to have degrees for certain positions, usually the better paying ones. The disadvantages of going to university include the time it takes. Also, sometimes courses at universities aren't always the most up-to-date. And finally, the cost. Going to university can involve getting quite significantly into debt. The next path is self-study. The advantages are, it's probably the cheapest. You can choose what to focus on, learning the most up-to-date materials, and also it can be done at your own pace. The disadvantages are you may not know what to study or what to focus on. Sometimes it would be hard finding the motivation to study, perhaps after a long day's work. Also, unless you take some kind of certification at the end or have a great portfolio, it may be harder for employers to know that you have the required knowledge to be considered for even a junior position. The final path we will look at is the coding bootcamp. The main advantage here would be the quickness at which you would get up to speed on a set of technologies. You'd also be studying with others, making contacts with people in a similar position, and this may prove useful later. Some bootcamps also have links with employers, so this may help you with getting that first all-important developer role. The main disadvantage I see would be the cost, and as I've already said, some people not recognizing your time at the boot camp as compared to the same time spent at university. Based on my understanding, I would recommend self-study followed by a bootcamp. Doing self-study will give you a good idea of whether this is a field you want to get into. Going forward, you will often have to self-study to update your skills. By doing it ahead of the bootcamp, it will allow you to also get the most out of your bootcamp. In a subsequent video, I will go through the exact steps that I believe you need to take to become a software engineer. When that video is ready, I will link to it either below or in the description of this video. But for now, thanks for watching.